The Crusades began with one command.
ልጆቼ የቀሎ ፈጆቼ አሁን እናወራለን እዚህ ቤትና እናረጋዋለን እናረጋውን እኮ አሁን መተን እናንተን ልጆቼ እንምጣና እንሂድ እዛ ሄደን ደግሞ እንስራ የምንፈልገውን ስራ እና እኔ የምለው ለምን እንደዛ እናረግም እኮ ነው የምለው እሺ እኔ እንደዛ አረጋለሁ እናንተም እንደዛ ማረግ አለባችሁ ግን እኔ ይሄ እስካለኝ ድረስ እኔ የእናንተ እንትን ነኝ እሺ ምንም ማድረግ አትችሉም እኔ የዚህ ነገር ነኝ እና እናንተ ምንም ማድረግ ስለማትችሉ ተጥሎ አቁሙና እኔ የምለውን ስሙ እኔ የምለውን የምትሰሙ ከሆነ እና እንጨርስና ይሄንን እና እናንተ
And so their journey began. But who were the Crusaders? They were some of the meanest, strongest, most skilled fighters the world has ever seen. Well, not exactly, because most of them were just farmers who volunteered for the Crusades looking for more adventure in their boring lives.
Why do you want to go to the Holy Land?
The Pope has told us that the evil Muslim Empire has taken over the Holy Land. We must take it back.
Why are you going on the crusade?
Because it is God's will, and I am going on a spiritual pilgrimage.
Pope Urban's request was met with a tremendous response, as it was determined that those who joined the armed pilgrimage would wear a cross on their chest as a symbol of the church in all its glory. The Crusaders entered Jerusalem, who to their surprise were occupied by Egyptians instead of Turks.
Who in the name of Pope Urban II are you? We were expecting the Turks.
At the end of the First Crusade, the tired, short-handed Crusaders defeated the Muslims with ease against all odds. What gave the Crusaders such an upper hand in the First Crusade was the deunification of the Muslim Egyptians. While Christians held soldiers in Jerusalem and in other large Middle Eastern cities, Islam began its own holy war, or jihad, and captured Edessa, which was a huge loss for the Crusaders. Eventually, the combined forces of the army of Damascus, Syria, and the army of Mosul, Turkey, annihilated the Crusaders, ending the Second Crusade.
Because of the defeat of the Christians, more European armies were sent into Jerusalem, beginning the Third Crusade.
The European armies were led by three of their most prominent leaders during the time: Frederick Barbarossa of Germany, King Philip of France, and Richard the Lionheart of England. When the armies were camped on the banks of a river, Frederick Barbarossa decided to take a bath. However, he drowned and died. How tragic. Anyways, the armies of Philip and Richard kept pushing south. They laid siege on the city of Acre. After taking control of Acre, the armies pushed more south to Jerusalem, where Saladin's army was gathered. Eventually, a treaty was drawn up, and the Christians took control of the coastline of modern-day Lebanon.
In 1198, Pope Innocent III called on a crusade to Byzantine, which was successful in its invasion and looting. After the Third Crusade, the other six were based on combating the enemies of Christians. The control of Jerusalem changed hands all the way until the end of the Ninth and final Crusade, when the Crusaders' capital of the Middle East, Acre, fell after siege from the Muslim Sultan Kawalawan. This effectively ended the Crusades, causing the Christians to technically lose but win in the overall benefit of East and West trade, while the Muslims, on the other hand, technically won but lost men, money, along with the ruins of their cities.
So the second crusade, we haven't really nailed on this.